Did you see Delaware State yesterday?
I did not.
So they are playing Hawaii in week 0, a game that I don't know why it was scheduled. But they are flying, I think it's about 5,000 miles to go
God
play
damn.
Hawaii. And they were flying commercial, I guess, because Delaware State, small program, doesn't have a ton of money to, I can't imagine what it would cost to charter a flight for a football team from New York. They were flying out of JFK to Hawaii, and they missed their plane.
Uh,
They had a
Wait, what?
they had a bus issue, and they missed their flight. So the last I heard, they were trying to split the team up on different flights to get them all to Hawaii. Like hopefully, I think
Yeah.
today.
I thought that was chartered planes in
Well,
the
like
NCAA.
Well, like UT, obviously, yeah, like SEC schools and stuff like that. But Delaware State doesn't have the money for that,
I didn't. So they just.
so they were getting on a commercial flight and they missed it.
I didn't know that they did commercial flights. Damn.
I mean, look at this guy.
That's too bad, dog.
Yeah, so they're. Let me see if there's any update on that.
What happens if they don't make it? Like, is it a forfeit?
I don't know.
No, because usually when you fly that long, you're staying for like 2, 3 days to acclimate to the time zone changes, things of that nature.
Right. Like, I guess if they were flying out yesterday, then that's like a Tuesday for a Saturday. I'm assuming it's a
you would
Saturday
think, 'cause
game.
usually when smaller schools play bigger schools, but Hawaii's not that big of a school, but usually they get paid for that.
Right, but like, so say Delaware State's getting 500 grand, they're spending all that to go out there, probably more.
Yeah. And if you miss your flight, that's
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I'd be very curious actually to find out like what happens. Like,
yeah, damn. I remember when I think I told the story for when I was coming out, and being recruited. Like you take visits, right? So you take your official visit, and Hawaii offered me a scholarship, and I had no interest in going to Hawaii, but I had interest in going to Hawaii, right? And I just wanted to take the trip, but they gauge your interest and they rescinded their scholarship, which they realized I wasn't interested because I was just gonna go there for the trip, and so they try to minimize that. I don't know if they do it anymore, but like they used to like minimize that because they knew you were not serious.
I
So that's a little
think I
trip.
heard they might not even let you do an official visit unless you're committed now.
It might have changed that, yeah. I mean, it makes sense because like it's a paradise, it's a vacation. You mean I can stay here for 3 days and just kick it on y'all? Shit, why not?
But like
I love it.
you got to be, because to take an unofficial visit to Hawaii, that's going to cost you $2,500.
Couldn't I couldn't do an unofficial business. Why?
Yeah, I know. So
Dog it
you've
up.
got to, if you've got to commit sight unseen. I guess you
Damn.
could do that, go there, and then if you really hated it, decommit. But
Or transfer. Ooh, that transfer port like taxing their ass. Ooh.
yeah, I
Shout out
don't
to
know.
why. Best original flag of all time.
Is that the
Um,
difference between official and unofficial? Is like
Official
they pay
is,
for it?
yeah, the school pays for it, and you can
Huh.
only do, is it 5 of those?
Yeah, it was 5 when I don't know what it is
Yeah,
now.
so you can only do 5 of those, and then you can go to a school as many times as you want as long as you pay for it.
Yeah.
Now,
How has NIL changed the landscape of recruiting from that perspective? Do they still only count like you can only
I think it's still supposed to be that way, yeah. But like, I mean, you
do
know,
they still pretend you can't pay for things and all
yeah,
that
like
shit? Or
schools have always, you go on an unofficial visit and like you're supposed to pay for your own meals and whatever, and like the coaches will pay for dinner or something. Like that happens all the
yeah,
time. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's still supposed to be that way.
yeah.
Because the NIL, like, you don't get that until you're there. So
That was a good time, man. That was a good time being recruited. It makes you feel wanted, especially as a kid. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel like people value me.
did they do the shit they do now when you were being recruited where like you get to your hotel and they have all the candy on the bed and shit?
Nah, they didn't have that.
Because kids post
Mm-mm.
videos now and it's like they walk into their hotel room and like the bed is covered in all their favorite stuff. There's gummy worms and chips and
Oh,
all
you know
sorts of
what?
stuff.
Maybe
And
you might. Yeah,
there's like
I
a
think.
cookie cake that says like welcome to Knoxville. And
Yeah. I don't think it was as extravagant, but yeah, they had like some of your favorite stuff in it. Now I'm thinking about it, and especially from the hotel. Welcome, Arian Foster, future Oregon Duck, future ball. Yeah,
So
I
where'd
remember
you
that.
do your official visits?
Official visits. I did Oregon, Oregon State, Tennessee, and North Carolina.
You
And
didn't
I
do a
had one
fifth.
scheduled for West Virginia, but I committed to UT.
I bet Oregon was sick.
I was just gonna say that would have been kind of sick.
Oregon was crazy. Like I looking back, I had a better official visit at Oregon than I did at Tennessee, like with the facilities and the coaches and stuff. But when it came to like vibing with the players, I had a better visit at Tennessee. It shit felt like family, and I was correct in that assumption. I mean, granted, I didn't spend college with the cats over at Oregon, but I got brothers for life from the University of Tennessee. It was a very family oriented place, so it was fun, man.
Who was?
it.
Who was at Oregon when you were there?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Did they have anybody good?
They had a dude that was a running back, Jonathan Stewart. He was
Yep.
first round running back.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had Jonathan Stewart, Jeremiah Johnson. I know he came to Houston with me. Undrafted. Man, they had a few cats.
Were they good?
Grayson,
Yeah.
something, Grayson, DN or something, Grayson. Yeah, they were good.
That was
They were
Dennis
top.
Dixon, who was like the
Dennis
original
Dixon.
Oregon, like super cool quarterback. Like
Dennis Dixon. Yep. Yep. I can't remember. Oh, there was a receiver, Calvin Coolidge.
Wasn't that a
Coolidge,
president?
maybe.
Cameron Colvin.
Cameron Colvin. There you go. I knew it started with a C.
Calvin Coolidge,
Yeah.
president in the 1800s.
30th president of the United States.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait.
Yeah. I knew it was like a double C. I know.
He's
I
a dual
remember that.
threat. Played college football president.
There have been several of those.
I remember I was in love with the uniforms, and that was a big difference. Was Nike was the sponsor for Oregon, and Adidas was the sponsor for Tennessee, and the technology between the two for the uniforms were night and day. So like Adidas had pants when you and I felt all the materials when you sweat in it, it like soaked it in and it got everything heavier. Nike had that dry fit technology where it literally the water would like roll off, and of course it would soak in a little bit, but for the most part it would keep it dry and light, and that was a huge difference and the quality of the materials and all of that. And like as a kid, like I said, I went off of feels rather than like logic. I should have went to Oregon, but it all worked out, man.
But like, if you was Jonathan Stewart your recruiting class, or was he already there?
He was the one right after me.
Oh, okay.
And so the biggest difference was this too, was Tennessee is used to getting like these big time recruits, right? And the only reason why Tennessee knew about me was because of Randy Sanders. He was the offensive coordinator. He was down in San Diego recruiting I think something Kovalchuk, a quarterback from out there. And we played them in a playoff game. And I got off. I was like, I went for like 200 yards. And Randy was like, yo, we need you. But even then, thinking back, he was like, hey man, we could really use you. It was that vibe. Oregon, like I didn't talk to Phil Fulmer until I signed. Like he didn't really speak to me. Oregon, John Bunting was the head coach. They wanted me like crazy. They're like, listen, bro, like we'll roll out the red carpet for you. He said you're gonna play your true freshman year. And granted, they sell you a lot of dreams, but I think like my high school highlight tape is kind of crazy. It was just I didn't get a lot of you kind of get drowned out when you're in a heavy, talented area. Southern California had a lot of talent. And so like even Pete Carroll, who was the coach at USC, he came up to me during when we were playing the Seahawks. He came to me playing the Seahawks one year, right before the game. And he goes, how the hell did we miss you in San Diego, man? You was in our back area. How did we fuck that up? I was like, I don't know, man. I fuck around with a win too. So like that was really cool by him, honestly. But you just get drowned out with a lot of the talent, man. You just get drowned out. But yeah,
you would have gone to USC?
Maybe. I was obsessed with what they had going on. Like I was like I said, I was in San Diego. They was in LA. Reggie Bush was just there.
Right, but like that's what I was saying. Like Bush and White, like you might not have played.
Understand, bro? As an athletic, as an athlete who played at a high level, my mindset was I was better than Reggie Bush in my head, right? In my head, I was better than Reggie Bush. I was better than Lindell White. I was better than Adrian Peterson. That in my head, and so I mean, I think there's a good argument to be made that I had a great pro career, and if I don't get injured, I would be in the Hall of Fame. But you have to think like that. That's why I'm not too mad at Buddy, the flag football guy. I understand that mindset because in order for that to be reality, you have to believe it before anybody else believes it. And every athlete feels like that. And expressing that is like, oh, you're delusional. But like you have to bully your dreams. You can't just think, oh, I'm probably good enough to be like a backup. Nobody wants to be a backup except for backup quarterbacks. They like living their best life. But like nobody attempts to dream to be a backup. Nobody attempts to dream to be third best, fourth best, sixth best. And so when I'm coming out, I went to high school in San Diego. I see Reggie Bush. I know Reggie Bush. I know his game. I feel like I'm better. That's just how I felt. I know what I can do and I know what he can do. And so like Linda White, same anybody, that's just how I felt. And then I get to the NFL, have that same vibe, and I had multiple seasons where I was the most productive back in the world.
Yeah.
Sorry, Noah Lyles.
I think Caleb Williams was talking about because he went to Oklahoma and was behind Spencer Rattler, and they asked him, "Why'd you go to Oklahoma?" He said, "I expected to beat him out," which he didn't initially, and then Spencer Rattler sucked against Texas, and they put him in, and he was unbelievable.
Yeah, man. There's something to be said about that mindset, but also, it's to me, I mean, it can be viewed as like arrogant. I understand that view, but it's also like if you approach it the right way, it's very humble because it's saying, all right, if you approach it the right way, in my opinion, it's like I think I see his potential, I see his ceiling, and if I work my ass off, I know my ceiling can be higher than that, right? If you're honest with yourself, and the greatest athletes have that mindset, and I think that's how it's supposed to be, and that's also how you breed confidence too. Um, a lot of cats, I think, when and this goes for just life in general. If I was going to listen to some advice from me, people, when you like make mistakes and you feel like there's an authority hovering over you, it chips away at your confidence and it absolutely minimizes and diminishes your skill set and your attributes. So you always hear this like, don't be afraid to fail. Like fail 100%, fail at 100% rather than being timid of making mistakes. Go all out, and then you can correct your mistakes. And then that shit breeds confidence. After a while, they'll adapt to you. That's how I saw it. Like I will do what I can do at 100%, and then the rules will bend for me.
Football coaches love saying that. If you're gonna make a mistake, make it at 100%, and I won't get mad at you.
It's true though, bro. It's true because you'll see guys. This is the telltale sign of somebody whose coach is in their head. They'll fuck up on the field and they'll turn directly to the sideline. Coaches in their head, and they're struggling mentally. Watch. You'll see it in college more than the pros, but the pros you'll see it too. They'll fuck up and they'll look directly at because the coach is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" All the time, right? So they'll fuck up and they'll look directly at the sideline. Keep looking at the sideline. Whereas you see ballers, like I'll fuck up or I don't play no more, but like when I would fuck up, or you see anybody out there right now who has the game, all pro, game comes to them. They don't give a fuck what the coaches think. I know I fucked up. I'll correct it. It is what it is. They're not worried about what the coach is thinking, saying, looking, telling, or even if the coach says something to him, he'll say something back. Like, fuck up, I got this. That's confidence. And those confident athletes are the ones that push the game forward.
Lindale White, by the way, all-time underrated college running back.
Who?
Lindale White.
Yeah. So I was on him and CJ2K's podcast. And man, shout out to him. He's a really good dude. He had a heart attack recently.
Really?
That was pretty recent. It was probably like 2-3 years ago. I didn't know that, but yeah, take care of yourselves out there, man. But I always said this. I thought Lindale White was a better running back, an actual running back, than Reggie Bush was in college. The issue was Reggie was more explosive, but I only think Reggie was explosive in like he's a more explosive back. But I thought Lindale White I thought he had better vision. I thought he had better instincts as a running back, but I don't think Lindale White took his nutrition very seriously in college. And I can say that because I didn't either. I didn't really understand or give a fuck about nutrition until I got to the NFL, and my game was exponentially better. So I think if Lendo White takes his nutrition seriously and his training seriously, he has a 10, 12-year career, and he's up there as a perennial Pro Bowler.
In 04 and 05, he had 2,400 yards and 39 touchdowns.
Telling you, his instincts were crazy, dog. I just think, like, if you look at his body was he didn't take care of it, like, nutritional wise. The game has obviously changed, and now nutrition is a huge part of collegiate athletics, high school athletics. Whereas when we was coming up, some people knew about it, some people didn't. Like I said, I didn't really pay attention till I got to the league, and then I saw what it did for me. I think if he does, we're talking about Lendo White as like one of those guys in the class of CJ, Maurice Jones-Drew, those kind of cats that was in the league. Ray Rice, all them guys, man.
Him and Chris Johnson were awesome.
That was fun. It was
Smash
fun to
and
watch,
dash.
man. It was inspiring. That shit was inspiring, man.